Hi, I'm Aileen. I'm an artist from Melbourne, Australia. My work primarily is acrylic painting, which explores the use of dominant abstract shapes to create surrealist worlds. My work is mostly inspired by architectural and brutalist forms and explores things like illusion, light, and our perception. My background is in engineering, which I think really shows through in my work. It can be quite mathematical, but also quite graphical, which right now I currently work as a graphic designer. So I think the engineering element and the graphic design element really show in the way my work is very vector-based looking, but also the angles and the shapes all really need to make sense and be cohesive with each other. So I think that really comes from my mathematics background. And I think as a child, I was really obsessed with things like magic eye or very simple illusions. And I've tried to bring that joy into my work now. And I love the concept of what we see is different to reality. And I like to play with those themes in my work. One of my biggest influences would be Bridget Riley. I think she's amazing. The way that her pictures move and jump at you and they resonate and they move. I really love how precise they are, and the way she uses line work is really beautiful. Another really obvious one I think is Escher. I think that they were probably the start to really bringing mathematical works into light. I love that he uses Roger Penrose's triangle, who is a brilliant physicist, and I really would love to work in that kind of way to incorporate maths into this visual space where people can understand it in a completely different way. So I've given myself this year to really push my art in different directions. I did this great residency called Studio Kura, which is in Itoshima, Japan, and allowed me to kind of like break away from the commercial side and really focus on where I wanted to take my art going into the future. So I've been playing around a bit with sculpture because I love the idea of people walking through and interacting with my art pieces. But in saying that, I also want to learn how to create more dynamic animation, interactive pieces. So I've been doing a bit of research and study into that, which I think is really exciting. The biggest challenge for me as an artist is forging my own path. I think the next step is not really as obvious as maybe a career is, like where I should be taking my art, where to next, how I want to grow it, what topics I really want to explore. I also think it's my practice is quite a solo practice, so I think the motivation to keep going when you're really not sure about where to go next is something that I find quite difficult. But learning to create a good community around you, I think, is something that I've kind of learning to do as I get more into it. What advice would I give to my younger self? I think follow your gut, which seems very cliche. I think I waited a long time before doing the things that I wanted. I think I got really caught up in what I should be doing rather than what I wanted to be doing. And I think if I don't know, you're never going to be 100% sure, but if you're, I don't know, even 40% sure, and you go in that direction and you fail, at least you know, rather than thinking about it and just never doing it. I think always do the thing and then find out after. I think that's the quickest way to learn the direction of where you want to go and know what that feeling is of feeling like, yeah, this is the thing I should be doing, rather than feeling like you need to do certain things because of external pressures. I think being a creative is really about understanding how you feel about where you want to go and where you want to take your ideas, and then being able to express them. I think the most unconventional technique that I've used recently is working with AI to develop my really early stage concepts, seeing how I can use that as a tool to iterate through ideas quicker at the start to kind of get to the point that I want to get to in the idea that I'm thinking. Because I think it's exciting if you can use it for the right reason. And I've got that idea in mind, and maybe there's a million different ways I need to get there. And if I can see them, I can kind of flex and mold them to what feels right to where I'm trying to head. That's probably the most unconventional method that I've used recently. I usually work in complete silence. I find it really hard to plan out and map my work, and I just get too distracted if I listen to anything. Maybe music sometimes, but very, very rarely. I think the best reaction for me is when someone says back to me what I've been thinking when I've been making the work. Like, I've managed to capture and bottle up that idea or feeling, and it resonates with someone telling me my work was nostalgic or it reminded them of this time. I really love that. I hope when people look at my work, they get caught up in it and they want to look at all the details and the lines and the sharpness, and it makes sense, but it doesn't, and they kind of follow it around as they look at it. I want my work to capture someone in a way that it tells a story to them and it reflects back onto them some sort of idea that they've been thinking, because I do have stories within my works, and sometimes I leave little Easter eggs of ideas and concepts that link to books and, I don't know, the sky or like times of the day. And I hope people see those little elements and they kind of build up this story for themselves based on what they've been through in their life. I think that's something really exciting when I can talk to a viewer that's seen my work, and it really opens up conversation. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Aileen Ng Studio. And yeah, thanks for letting me be part of this interview, Stan. It's been great. Cheers.